Where we had left off with Tenkaichi, we were in the middle of the battle between Honda Tadakatsu and the man on our screen right now, Musashi Miyamoto. Now Miyamoto, he had just broken his wooden sword, but he did so in order to scratch Tadakatsu, which was, of course, the first time that had been done ever. He had asked his pops after he broke his wooden sword. He was like, "Hey pops, let me get your sword. I didn't bring a sword with me. I didn't think I'd need anything besides this wooden sword. Let me get that sword off you." Pops was like, "All right, bro." Threw him the sword. He grabbed it, starts pulling the sword out, and he hits a little farm panel. You know what I mean? Starts showing off the blade. Now, mind you, we got to think about this, right? All right, think about how crazy this nigga was going with a wooden sword. He managed to scratch the quote unquote unscratchable man with a wooden sword. Now that he has a steel sword, an actual blade in his hand, Lord knows what this man might be capable of. I'm scared. Anywho, that's where we left off. And starting in this episode, we're going to get into Musashi's backstory. All right, so we get a flashback. We go all the way back to 14 years ago, to back when Musashi was a jit, baby Musashi, kid Musashi, if you will. Oh, it's a bit loud there. We go all the way back to kid Musashi. All right, he's just a regular baby, sucking his thumb, whatever. Pops, low key, even though he's got him in a death tournament, which is kind of crazy, Musashi's pops is a pretty good dad. All right, he's out there playing with his son, trying to make him laugh, putting sticks in his nose, just being a happy father, right? And we get like this dialogue from him, right? This narration from him, right? Then this is him thinking back in the day. He's like, damn, my son is about to turn 3, and he's a little he's a little behind developmentally. He still hasn't spoken a single word. He kind of just cries. I don't know what's wrong with this kid. There's something a little off about him. I love him, but there's something off about him. He's looking at his son, right? He's like, I can't get him to laugh. I can't get him to talk. I can't get him to do nothing. Shit, if I can't even get him to talk, how is this going to be my successor? You got to remember, Pops is nice with the sword himself, right? He's like at the top of his dojo, whatever, owns his own dojo. He's like, yo, I can't even get my son to do normal developmental shit. How is he going to inherit the dojo? Anywho, he still loves his son. So he's out walking with his son one day, just out in the village, out on the streets, cooling it. He's still carrying his son. Musashi's still sucking his thumb like a little baby. And one day, while they're walking, they run into the aftermath of a duel. You got to remember, this is 1600s Japan, right? Shit was wicked back then. That was back when you could kind of just get smoked out on the street for looking at someone the wrong way. They challenge you to a duel. Now all of a sudden your life is on the line, or your honor's on the line, and the honor of your whole family's on the line if you don't go squabble with them, right? And so they're walking outside on the street, and they see this dude who just got slain out there near their home. And this is just a regular sight. Like, it's crazy to see, but it's not that crazy to see. He's looking, he's like, damn, so this dude, he must have died on the battlefield, and shit, he probably didn't die without honor, because, the place where the scar was, his sword was all fucked up. Back then, dying without honor probably worse than dying itself, right? And so he's just looking at him. He's like, damn, what a cruel fate that this man had. How sad and how unfortunate. All of a sudden, also, right, for those of you who don't know about Musashi, right? I'm not going to get too much into Musashi lore. Read the fucking book. Like, actually, that shit is great. If you like battle anime, you would love Musashi the novel. But anywho, his original name was Takazo, right? And then shit happened and he changed his name to Musashi. Well, actually, someone else changed his name to Musashi. But regardless, he's looking at his son in his hand, right? He was just carrying him. And all of a sudden, his son disappears. He's like, Takazo, where the fuck you go? He looks down. And to his surprise, he sees young Musashi, young Takazo, picking up the sword. He was like, what the hell? This kid, he used to not be able to walk. He used to not be able to talk. He used to not be able to do anything. And now he's up walking and grabbing swords and shit. What's going on? Now, mind you, right? Musashi has not talked before, has never uttered a word, but upon picking up a katana, he looks at it for a couple seconds. And as if driven by instinct, he utters the word katana. Pops is like, yo, what the fuck? And all of a sudden, Musashi lifts the sword over his head, right? Pops is like, oh shit, right, my son. This is a 3-year-old with a blade in his hand. This is dangerous as hell. He starts running to go save his son. He's like, yo, okay, stop playing, bruh. Like, you're not ready for that sword shit yet, bro. You know, he starts running towards his son. All of a sudden, again, as if driven by instinct, Musashi swings that sword down on Pops. Pops is like, you know, he's taken off guard. And he looks at his arm, and he's been slashed. Mind you, this is like a legit trained swordsman, right? Musashi's pops was like that. And Musashi somehow, maybe because he was off guard, but regardless, it's still impressive to even catch this man off guard in the first place. Bro, Pop starts looking at his son, and he's like, oh shit. There's something particular that caught my eye about after he slashed me, right? He looks up at his son, his 3-year-old son. He's got his pop's blood dripping on his face, and then splashed off of his arm and onto his face. And he just looks like different, bro. He's a whole different breed with it. And again, he utters his first word. Same word once again. Katana. Bro is looking at his son. He's like, oh shit. You know what I mean? He's a master swordsman, so he knows that he is witnessing the birth of immense potential. He said tremendous talent for swordsmanship sprouting out right before his eyes. We fast forward a little bit, right? And we learn that from this day moving forward, Musashi was always with the katana on him, bro. Wherever he went, that blade was on him. He was carrying it with him. If he was playing with the katana. If he was sleeping with the katana. They said he made swordsmanship a part of his body. This shit was beyond a lifestyle, bruh. This was just how he was living. It was just in him to play with the katana. And then one day, not long after, a few years later, at the mere age of 11, he surpassed his pops. 11-year-old Musashi surpassed a master swordsman just casually, just cause he could. And then all of a sudden, after he surpassed his pops, he kind of just stopped. He put the sword down and he was like, yeah, I'm done. This shit is boring. This shit is not for me anymore. What he soon came to realize was that, you know, he was kind of too broken. He was so broken, in fact, that he was frustrated by the fact that he couldn't find someone to legitimately challenge him, right? Okay, we got an 11-year-old swordsman who can outdo a literal master swordsman. I think you could imagine that there's not too many other people who are going to be able to challenge him, especially once we start getting to the point where it's like, okay, he's 15, 16, 17, getting to the age where, you know what I mean? He's still improving and the rest of the world around him is still like, the gap is only widening, right? He's only getting better than these niggas and he's getting bored of these niggas basically. And so, you know, he kind of just grew bored. He would sit there, sleeping all day. There was no one to challenge him, no one to invigorate him. There was no upward momentum. You know what I mean? He used to love the sword back when it was a challenge. Then he got better than everybody and he had nothing to do. We fast forward back to the present day, back to the tournament. And, you know, Sunglasses, he's looking at Musashi's pops. He's like, what? Like, this story is true? Nah, you gotta be capping right now. This can't be a true story. And Pops is like, no, bro, I'm dead ass. Like, yeah, my son was too strong. And he was too broken and he had to cast aside his swords out of pure boredom. Right? He starts looking out at the battlefield and a tear falls from his eyes. All of a sudden, he starts yelling out at the top of his lungs, Honda Tadakatsu, thank you. This nigga hype as shit. Everyone starts looking around. They're like, yo, what? What is Unk yelling so loud for? Even Musashi mid-scrap, like, yo, shut the fuck up. Sunglasses looking at him. He's like, yo, loud yelling ass. Are you good? Why are you screaming? But Musashi's pops, again, loves his son. He's like, Tadakatsu, thank you. Thank you. You have given my son a challenge. You have given him something to do. You have woken up the beast that was laying dormant within my son. Musashi, he don't give a damn about none of this, right? He's sitting there, cooling it, you know, still mid-scrap. He's like, yo, what is Pops even talking about, bruh? I'm just out here trying to shoot the fade and he's just yapping. Anywho, Honda, he's enjoying himself, right? Again, this was the man who had never taken a scratch before. Just got scratched across the shoulder. He was like, I mean, shit. Honestly, Musashi, you know, your pops is over here thanking me. But personally, I feel like I should be thanking you. Musashi's like, oh, word? Even Tokugawa's like, you know, Ieyasu's like, oh, a word? You think you should be thanking Musashi? And Honda Tadakatsu's like, yeah. You know, Musashi, he's not the only one to be getting awakened right here, bruh. You know, they were both kind of laying dormant. And bro was basically saying like, yeah, after a lifetime of going without no one able to touch me, after a lifetime of being the best, being the strongest, you know, I kind of started bullshitting, bro. I kind of grew complacent and I wasn't advancing as a warrior. And he was like, damn. And to think that what it took to really make me lock in was a mere kid, a mere child. It's kind of crazy. Musashi cracks a little smile. You know, they kind of got like a mutual respect for each other. Mutual respect thing going on. Tadakatsu's like, anyway, you know, enough glaze, enough talking it out. He gets in position. He's like, let's get it. Here we go. You know, all of a sudden, excuse me, we get a single page spread, right? We see steam and like starting to erupt off of his body. We see the God visualization behind him again as he's getting ready to battle, right? He's like, I'm burning up over here like hellfire. It's time for my feast. Again, the steam coming off of his body. I'm pretty sure this is physical steam erupting from his muscles. I don't think this is a metaphor, bro. And you're going to see why later. But his body starts heating up and steam starts arising from him. The people watching, they're like, oh shit. Like, I think these niggas just kicked it into another gear. Our boy Yagyu, right? You know, he be sitting on the side being our narrator on the low. He's like, yeah, they about to go crazy, bro. They're on something entirely different right now. Mori's watching. Mori, you know how Mori's getting. Mori probably over there getting bricked up. What spirits? But Musashi, Musashi hits that little smile again. Hits that little smile again as they unsheath their sword. They're like, damn, I'm sensing some crazy killing intent coming off of you, Unk. You want the fade like that? I didn't even know this level of fade was possible. He kind of sticks out his sword, right? Sticks it towards Tadakatsu. And he's like, man, it's nice. It's nice knowing there's someone who can challenge me. someone who can push me further in this world. And all of a sudden, Musashi cracks a smile, right? He starts looking a little crazy too. He's like, shit, if I can keep going against you, then maybe I can keep getting stronger. Maybe I can challenge myself to go further and further and further. We get another page spread, right? The two of them are teed up. They're looking at each other. Mind you, both of them are still fighting to the death. They are fighting to the literal death over here, hype as shit, because they get to iron their blades against iron, you know, sharpen their blades against iron on some iron sharpens iron type shit. And Musashi's sitting here. He's like, yeah, I'm finna be the strongest, and you're going to be the footstool that makes me the strongest. We get a look at Super Unk, right? Big Unk, Nobunaga. He enjoying the show. He's like, okay, this shit fire, but stop all this glaze. I want to see niggas die. Laughing, teeth all fucked up. Just again, they call him the Demon King for a reason. And the moment Nobunaga tells them to lock in, the two of them lock eyes, and Musashi takes a super speed step forward, right? This is a level of speed we didn't even see the last time when he was able to slice Tadakatsu. Sunglasses is looking at him. Sunglasses is like, oh shit, he's moving even faster than before. What the hell? I ain't never seen him move like this before. Tadakatsu sees the speed. That boy started getting hype as shit. He cracks a smile. Nigga flexes his back, rips through the fabric on his shirt off pure flexage, off pure back meat. Plants his foot, right? He gets his attack ready. 100-fold spear, full throttle, lightning bursts, shinks that speed at him at, I don't know, bruh. I don't know, you know, you don't really be knowing in Tenkaichi when shit be a metaphor, right? But what I'm seeing here, I see lightning bolts crackling off this spear. I'm thinking he moved that spear at lightning speed, bro. Now Musashi wasn't ready for lightning speed, right? So he's like, oh shit, he kind of caught off guard. The spear's moving even faster than before. But y'all remember in the last video, he opened up his Sharingan. He hits the weave on the sword. Sharingan open, he could see the sword. Everyone's watching, right? I can only imagine what this looks like to them. They don't even know what's going on. They can't even track the spear with their eye. Yet they're watching Musashi fucking monkey weave this shit. Mori's like, oh shit. Has he really gotten to a point where he can counter Honda's spear? Now Musashi, all right, he has his metal sword now, right? He doesn't have the wooden shit anymore. And so he uses the metal part of the sword, right? The blade. He uses the metal sword blade to like put space between him and the long part of the spear. And he keeps blasting forward at the same speed. So he's doing like this little maneuver, right? He's running forward. He's using his sword to block the spear from him. But Tadakatsu, he has something for that, right? He grabs his sword, puts a little bit of extra grip on it, starts flexing his muscles. All of a sudden, he's like, yeah, I'm not gonna let that slide. He puts downward force onto the spear. And we see a literal hand of a god crush that nigga Musashi in the back off pure weight and strength. So he starts trying to crush that boy down, right? You know, veins bulging out of his head. Full power, strength to that boy Musashi back. And Musashi was not ready for that type of smoke. Nigga, he dead. What the fuck? Well, how is this shit so heavy? We get a look at Yagyu on the stands. He's like, well, this here is a technique you can use too. This is also a pretty unconventional but effective technique. He is using his musculature to put weight on his spear and is using that weight to try to crush Musashi. Now Musashi, right? This is like some super weight on his back, right? We see his feet digging into the ground, literally crushing through the ground beneath him. He's trying his best to hold onto his sword. We see veins bulging over his knuckles and in between his fingers. but he's just barely able to hold out, right? He's like, yo, if I keep this up, if shit keeps going how it's going right now, oh yeah, I'm cooked. I'm gonna die. It's over. All of a sudden, right? Realizing that he'll die, realizing that shit is cooked, he hits a super lock-in. He notices the sharp edge of his blade is starting to dig into Tadakatsu's spear. And all of a sudden, with one fell swoop of his blade, he cuts Tadakatsu's tombokiri clean in half. Tadakatsu's like, excuse me? He never seen no shit like this in his life before, right? You look at Musashi's face, you see he got the white eyeballs, right? You already know what time it is when a character got white eyeballs. They're too locked in. They're too locked, like you're not on their same level right now. His pops is watching. Pops is shocked. Ieyasu is watching. Ieyasu is shocked. Everybody is watching and is like, yo, what is going on with Musashi, bro? How is this even possible? How was this child able to slice through Honda Tadakatsu's spear? We get a look at Musashi's face, right? He got the shadow cast over his eyes, looking like an absolute demon, looking crazy, bro. Again, you know what happens when we got this type of eye work in a manga, in anime. He's locked in. He's overly locked in. The part of Tadakatsu's spear that got cut off flies through the air for a bit and, sticks itself into the ground. Iyasu's watching this, right? He's still in shock. He's like, oh shit. If the spear is sliced in half, if Tadakatsu's spear is cooked, it's over. That nigga is defenseless. Musashi, he still got the one demon eye showing as he lifts his blade up, ready to chop Tadakatsu. Like, yeah, they're like, yo, he has no power. It's over. He don't got his spear no more. Musashi starts talking that shit, right? He's like, listen here, Unk, yeah, that dome of yours, I'm gonna need that, pal. I'm gonna be taking that dome off of you. He swings his sword down at him. All of a sudden, he realized his sword stopped. Mid-swing. He was swinging his sword down, and that shit just suddenly stopped. We get a look at how exactly the sword stopped. And it turns out Tadakatsu stopped Musashi's sword by balancing the hilt of his spear, the part that was cut off. He balanced the part that was cut off of his spear against the hilt of Musashi's sword to stop it mid downswing. So he was able to somehow pinpoint accurately see, okay, he's swinging at approximately this trajectory. If I put my spear right here, then I can stop this nigga's swing and protect my life, even if I don't have my full spear. Now, he gets to smiling, right? He's like, this right here, you probably thought you really did something cutting my spear in half, but nah, this is light work. Musashi's like, huh? Wait, light work? What you mean light work? You have a spear with no blade. What are you going to do with a spear with no blade? Tadakatsu's like, oh man, these inexperienced youth, bro. You think I need a blade on my spear to go crazy? Nah, bro, I'm not even near my limit. He takes the bladeless spear and hits that boy Musashi in the stomach meat with like 4 jabs at once. Speed jabs him. Musashi's like, bro, what? Are you dead ass? Bladeless spear. And he thrust me clean in my shit with enough speed that I couldn't even track. I couldn't even track where the stick was going. Oh man. As you can tell, these Tenkaichi characters do kind of be on bullshit, bruh. Anywho, Musashi flies backwards, right? Slides across the ground. Probably scraped the shit out of his back. I know his stomach is hurting from those thrusts. We see literal steam emerging off of the flat end where Tadakatsu was thrusting his spear. We get a look at Musashi's corner. Sunglasses is like, yo, what the fuck? Are you dead ass? Mori was like, 5 hits in one? 5 hits in the merest second? That's crazy. And Iyasu's like, oh shit. He won. Honda Tadakatsu won. Tadakatsu. He lets out a breath, a smile, and he's like, We get a look at Musashi's corner. And we find out that Musashi, despite being hit by Tadakatsu's spear, actually did somewhat of a dodge maneuver, right? He kind of jumped back at the very, very last second so that the full power of Tadakatsu's spear wouldn't, hit him clean in his rib cage and bruise his internal organs. They're like, oh shit, you managed to jump back at the last second? Okay, good. Now we need you to get up. His pops is invested too. He's like, yeah, Musashi, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I need you to get up too. This can't be the end of your story, bro. I know you're stronger than this. I know you could do more. Musashi, he's bleeding, right? He's definitely bleeding internally. You could see this big stream of blood coming out of his mouth from probably his guts. And he lifts up a shaky hand. He lifts up that hand. He's like, look, give me your sword. Pops is like, what? Your sword? A sword? Don't you already have a sword? He's like, nah, your other sword. He starts to stand up. Once again, we see this nigga gotten 2 swords in the hand now. Long sword and short sword. And apparently, according to the narrator, that is, dual wielding is Musashi's secret technique. Thus, meaning, he's not done yet. He's still kicking it into another gear. We get a look at his face. He is in absolute tweak mode, even more so than before, right? We see the smile, the blood, the sweat dripping off of him. And, we get again, more dialogue from the narrator, right? The narrator is like, now that he has the nourishment of a strong opponent, he will begin to grow rapidly. He will continue to adapt based off of the challenge that Tadakatsu put before him. We get a look at Tadakatsu, right? And I love this visualization here, bruh. We got this big ass like oak tree, this big thick ass tree, right? Tadakatsu is like standing above him, kind of damn near hovering over him, right? He's on this giant plateau. Musashi is on a lower plateau, right? But they're kind of visualizing the fact that like Musashi has this ultimate talent who can continue to get better and better and adapt to his opponents. Will this ultimate talent be able to take on the ultimate experience, who is, obviously Tadakatsu, the world's strongest military commander? The two of them kind of look at each other, right? Tadakatsu's hype. He's like, okay, the fade's still going, say less. Come at me, kid, what's up? And again, the narrator keeps going, had these two people not met, then Musashi's evolution would have never surpassed the speed of history. I don't even know what that really means. I don't know what evolution surpassing the speed of history really means, but I feel like that gotta be an upscale somehow. Anyway, he starts unsheathing this second sword. Everybody watching, right? Iyasu's getting scared. He's like, oh shit, I'm actually getting kind of nervous. Nobunaga starts smiling. He's just enjoying the show. Musashi's corner is looking at him, excited but also trepidatious to see what he might do. Musashi, he suddenly drops the second hilt to his second sword. Yagyu's watching. He's like, oh shit. So this shit is really about to get real. He can sense it just by watching. And Musashi, just with pure demonics on his face, starts staring at that man. Now dual wielding, long sword and short sword. Yeah. I'm finna surpass you, Unk. Now, this is technically the end of Volume 1. We're not stopping here yet, but this is the volume cover for Volume 2. So, that's our next fight. We're not going to get too much into that anytime soon. But yeah, now we're in Volume 2. Alright? Cool. There goes that. So boom, we get a little bit of a recap of where we were. Obviously, we know what's going on. Martial arts fights, tournament, determines the new shogun. We don't got to go through the whole lore again, right? But right now we're still in round 1, Honda Tadakatsu versus Musashi Miyamoto. And again, we get our tagline. That ever repeating, constantly reused tagline. This is not history as we know it. In case you forgot, Musashi, the dude who's going absolutely fucking nuts right now, is only 16 years old, right? So again, the ultimate talent with a lack of experience versus Tadakatsu, the ultimate military general, been on the battlefield, 50 something times, the ultimate experience. But yeah, they're kind of saying, okay, can Musashi, the ultimate talent, defeat a monster as powerful, as experienced as Tadakatsu? And I mean, even Tadakatsu is looking at Musashi and he's like, damn, bro, what the hell is going on? The speed of his growth has already surpassed our history. I don't know what that means. I don't know if he's saying he's inching on the greatest swordsman of all time already. I don't really know. But we look at Musashi and he getting loose with it. He's hype. He's up, his 2 swords in his hands. Granted, he's all battered, bruised, and bloody. But shit, you ask him how he's feeling? Nigga said it feels great. Again, Nobunaga's watching, Iyasu's watching, Musashi's team is watching, Yagyu's watching, everybody in the stands is watching. It's a show. It's a spectacle. Round 1 is already proving that this tournament is quite the spectacle. Anyway, now that the battle is continuing, Tadakatsu, he starts going military strategist mode, right? He starts trying to see through Musashi's strategy. He's like, all right, so he's got 2 swords. Is he bluffing? Is he really like that? And then he locks in. He's like, nah, I don't think this is a bluff. I'm pretty sure the dual wielding is this dude's strongest combat form. He's entered his final form. From here on out, shit is gonna get live. He sticks out one hand, lines it up before his face, in front of his face. And he's like, regardless, as strong as he is, a sword is just a sword. I know how to deal with swords. I've been in battle. I've dealt with this before. This ain't nothing I've never seen. He's like, there's nothing Musashi could do that's going to catch me off guard. You can assume any sword stance and I'm gonna know what to do. If you step towards me, I will. He flings the the half spear that's in his hand, flings that shit, pops the sound barrier, finna crush you. Musashi, he's low-key caught off guard, right? He just barely manages to dodge that shit. That spear flies past him, boom, cracks into the wall with a big ass crater. Mind you, this is off pure arm muscle, pure upper body strength. He yeeted that fucking spear, which caused a crater in the wall. Musashi, that shit was so fast, so loud, he looks back and thinks it's a cannon. But after making the mistake of looking back, Tadakatsu, he sees the opening, right? Musashi's looking back. Tadakatsu, he already went and grabbed the other side of his spear, jumped up, and got his spear lined up to Musashi in midair. All right, his long spear is turned to his short spear, and he's ready to thrust that shit through Musashi's body. Musashi realizes at the last moment, oh shit, I was distracted. I was caught off guard. Like, fuck. You know, the people watching are like, oh shit, I couldn't even process that. He's moving so fast. And, you know, even Yagyu is like, oh shit, you know, this was something we didn't expect. Tadakatsu is also getting faster, right? We get a look at him. He's breathing out literal steam. Steam shooting out of his mouth from between his teeth as he thrusts this spear forward at lightning speed again onto Musashi. DP, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? Anywho. Now, Tokugawa's watching. He's in shock. Musashi's team is watching. They're in shock. Yagyu is watching. He's in shock. We get a look at Musashi. He's got the grin across his face. But even so, even if Tadakatsu has already gotten stronger, has leveled up to another extent, Musashi was ready for it. Now that he got his two blades out, he's strong enough to counter with his, and I think this is the first attack we're technically seeing from him, Twin Heavens, Dragon's Crushing Descent. Now, Musashi, he recognizes that he might have died here. He might have died here if he didn't have his dual swords. If he still had the one sword out, it might have been a GG. Luckily, he has the two swords out. Now, Tadakatsu, he's kind of shocked, right? He's like, oh, shit. He was able to parry that speed? I was like really trying there. I was really giving it my everything. He was able to parry that? Musashi, he gets... he starts talking shit. He's like, hey, old man, you better pay attention. Tadakatsu looks up at him, right? Sees his face. He's like, yeah, these swords, they're not made out of wood anymore. I will take your life. All of a sudden, right? Tadakatsu, he tries to take a step back. Musashi, he gets into his next move. Single Heaven, Dragon's Reverse Ascent. Steps forward. And he manages to slice Tadakatsu again. Mind you, again, before today, Tadakatsu had gone unscratched. All right, I want to reiterate that. Before today, Tadakatsu had gone entirely unscratched, unscathed. No one had been able to hold him. No one had been able to handle him. He was too strong. But now, after today, the impossible happened. Not only was Tadakatsu scratched, across his shoulder with the wooden sword, today would also mark the day he was scarred. He was slashed across the chest. We get to look at Musashi's blade, like the mark that it made, right? Big ass slash across Tadakatsu's chest. Whoosh, blood shooting out. Cut through the beads. That boy got. Now Tadakatsu, he don't really know how to handle this, right? Again, never been scratched before. This pain isn't something normal to him, right? So he kind of stumbles back a little bit. He's like, oh fuck, I don't know what to do. Musashi, he's still already locked back in. Damn, I can only slice his flesh. I couldn't get deep enough to do some lasting damage. But he's like, okay, now that he stopped moving, I'm gonna go in again with a double sword slash. Boom. Blocked. Tadakatsu manages to block the double swords with the stick of the spear. Musashi shocked. He's like, oh shit, he's not backing down, he's not dodging. He was able to block that shit head on. And Tadakatsu, he's locked in. Despite, bleeding out onto the field right now, he's like, okay, yeah, those two swords, my instincts were right. He starts smiling, like slightly through the pain, through the struggle. Both of them are super locked in now. You can see the sweat coming off of them, the veins bulging, shit going crazy. Musashi's like, damn, I slashed his chest and he's still going? He's still up? He's still squabbling? And Tadakatsu is having the time of his life too. He's like, I'm not gonna lie, Musashi, you are the most thrilling opponent I have ever fought, the most thrilling guy I've ever met. We get a look at Ieyasu. He's starting to get nervous, right? You gotta remember, Tadakatsu is fighting on his behalf. As far as he knew, Tadakatsu was, his strongest soldier that he had out there right now. And he's like, fuck. I didn't expect that Tadakatsu would even be struggling. I didn't expect, especially not a child, I didn't expect him to be able to beat Tadakatsu's domain, to even be able to get in this close to fight him. We hear someone start talking from the top of the roof. Mind you, we've never seen this nigga before that's talking. Instantaneous farm, already farming. We get a look up at the roof. We see a dude we never seen before just cooling it on the roof in farm position. Squat down. That musclehead's been wounded twice? Just who is that kid? Ieyasu turns around. He's like, who the fuck is this up there farming? And the boy yells out his name, Hanzo Nin. And apparently we learn that this is the demon of the spear, Hattori Hanzo. He will obviously be very important later. But for now, he's just watching. He's just a spectator. He jumps off the roof and, goes to talk to Tokugawa. Apparently he's acquainted with him. He knows him. And he's like, yo, long time no see, Unc. What's good, Tokugawa? I haven't seen you in a minute. And Tokugawa's like, yo, I don't even know if you could be down here right now. Like, are you good? What's going on? The dude, he's watching the fight, right? Apparently he knows Tokugawa. By extension, he probably knows Tadakatsu. He's like, damn, I haven't seen this musclehead fight in a while, huh? Looks like he's kind of struggling out there. I've never seen this before. And he's watching. He's like, okay, I see what's really going on here. I see what's popping. That Musashi kid, he's getting stronger with every blow. Every hit that he survives, he gets stronger and harder to defeat. He's like, you know what that means, bro? At this rate, if things keep going how they're going, shit, Tadakatsu, he might not be here much longer. If Musashi keeps growing, and Tadakatsu keeps giving him reasons to grow, then naturally Musashi is eventually going to outpace Tadakatsu. He's like, man, that's kind of crazy, but I'm not too worried because I know Tadakatsu, he still got something crazy in the tank. I know he still got some more in him. Yasu looks back. He's like, got some more in him. Like, what are you talking about? What is he going to pull out? And apparently, according to Hanzo, Tadakatsu, he has a weakness. Because he's so broken, he's never had to fight with his full strength. He doesn't know how to do his best because he's never had to. They're like, wait. Uncle's like, wait, you saying his weakness is that he's too broken? He's so broken his body doesn't even know how to try? And Hanzo's like, yeah, low key. Remember that one time ever that he gave it his all, that he showed his full power? You get a flashback 30 years ago. All right. This was back when he was on the battlefield, back before Nobunaga had united everything. And he's out there fighting. All right. Shit's getting wicked out there. It's the battlefield, of course. Of course shit's getting wicked. And yeah, all sorts of crazy shit's going on. We see some NPCs killing each other, whatever. And Tokugawa, he's on horseback with an army of 5,000 squabbling an army double the size. Okay, now obviously Tokugawa was broken. He was doing his big one. And, because his army was so low in numbers compared to their opponents, shit was looking kind of rough, right? They were close to surrendering. They didn't know what to do. They thought, hey, it might be an unwinnable battle out here. Now, Ieyasu, this is back when, he was just a military general. He wasn't a grand elder like he is now, right? He's receiving reports of the situation, and he's like, fuck, we're getting smoked out there, aren't we? Hanzo runs up to him. Hanzo was another soldier that was under him. He's like, my lord, big news. Iyasu's like, what happened? He's already expecting something bad. He's like, it's Tadakatsu. Iyasu's like, uh-oh, what happened to Tadakatsu? What's going on? He starts telling the story that would eventually lead to the legend. He was like, look, shit was looking bad. Shit was looking dark out there for our side. And then he showed up. We get a look at a dude who got cut clean in half through his blade. The last words he can utter, monster. And we get a look at Tadakatsu mid-fade 30 years ago. That boy out there going crazy. You lot, follow me. Nigga said, we losing the fade. I'm going to take the fade into my own hands. Or wait, no, that's not him. I forgot. That's the op. That's the op. My fault. There's this dude. Yeah, there was this dude going around swinging shit with a big ass sword. You lot, follow me. Our target is Iyasu's head. All right, this chimpanzee, great ape looking ass nigga. He pretty strong, I'm not gonna lie. He doing his big one. I don't know if he's Tenkaichi tournament strong, but he's kind of like that. He's like, come on, let's finish this. Let's crush this army. Now, we learned that this dude wielded a super 7-foot long sword, which is crazy. But yeah, a 7-foot sword. He would just cleave through people's bodies, and he was called the strongest in the North, all right? Niggas called him the mightiest warrior in the whole North. And I mean, shit. If I saw a dude with a 7-foot sword chopping people up like ground beef, yeah, okay, I would think maybe he's the mightiest in the world too. At the very least, the mightiest in the North. Anyway, he's mid-fade, mid-cutting people into oblivion when suddenly, someone talks from behind him. Makara Dono, something is coming. He looks back. He's like, reinforcements? Like what could possibly be happening? What's coming? He's like, no, I don't think that's reinforcements. I don't see troops. I see I see one horseman. One singular horseman coming at us. We get a look at the horseman. I think we all know this is Tadakatsu, right? He's throwing niggas into the wind left and right. Boom, boom, boom. Bodying them. Going stupid on them. And we get a close-up shot, right? Tadakatsu, prime 30-year-old Tadakatsu. He had these big-ass elk antlers on the drip. I'm not gonna lie, he had that shit on. But yeah, they were like, nah, yeah, that's not a troop of reinforcements. Those reinforcements are a single horseman coming at us. They were like, no fucking way, bro. This is too reckless. This is too crazy. This shit can't be real. And we get the full page spread of him. Dog is looking too tough. The narrator gets to glazing. The lone horseman, Honda Tadakatsu, fighting against the 10,000 men of Asakura. We continue to look at Honda Tadakatsu's 1v10,000. We see steam emerging off of his body, kind of like the fight that he's in right now, but we see, excuse me, like steam flying out of his mouth. Again, the body is overheating. He's feeling physically hot from all the steam coming off of him. And he so he rips off all of his armor to I guess cool himself off, right? He's overheating with all the steam. He rips off all of his armor in the middle of a battle with 10,000 people. And he's like, okay, there you go, horse. You're lighter now. You can run faster. Just run wherever you want, and I'm finna body whoever you run up on. Now Makata, 7-foot sword, Makata the 7-foot sword. He sees this, and he sees this as a challenge. My name is Makata Jirozaimon. Notaka. A single horseman against 10,000? Are you dumb? Go ahead and tell me your name before I get you up out of here. I at least respect you enough to know your name, let you die with honor. The swordsman. I am Honda Hihachiro Tadakatsu. And I'm fine with being an utter fool. Again, we see the veins bulging through his face. It is my fate. The two of them run up on each other. The 7-foot sword versus the horsemen fighting 10,000 men. We get a look at Tadakatsu, right? His skin is glowing, glistening as it's steaming. And we see the narrator glaze boxes again, so we already know some crazy shit is going to happen. Honda fought alone against an army of 10,000. And it tells us Tadakatsu's body, when exposed to extreme situations like this, we get another close-up on his muscles. But his body, when exposed to extreme situations, becomes hot enough to emit steam. And his physical strength, judgment, and reaction speed all elevate to a level far beyond that of an ordinary human. Hanzo makes his way back out to the battlefield, right? He's on horse. He's like, yo, swole head, you good? You good? I heard you was out here trying to fight 10,000 people. What's going on? He looks around. Everyone's kind of like frozen in place, right? Staring at him. The infantry officers kind of just stop mid-fade, eyes wide as hell. And they're looking at him. He has a halo of steam erupting from his back on some Sun Wukong shit. His body is glistening radiantly like a diamond. And we get a look at him as he takes his spear, crushes That's a plane. I got scared that nigga was about to attack me. But he takes his blade, crushes it through the 7-foot blade of the swordsman. The swordsman's watching. He's like, yo, this has to be a god. This is not no normal person. And boom, blast that nigga with pure spear strength. Hanzo's watching this. He just cracks a smile. He's like, yeah, well, that swole motherfucker, he got it, man. He got it. I think he can take these 10,000 men on his own. Yeah, you are Tokugawa's strongest warrior. You got that. We get a flash forward to the future, right? We're looking at Tokugawa present day. His old ass. Earlobes even bigger. Eyebrows even thicker. Head even more bald. He's like, yeah, you're right. You're right. I have forgotten, but I remember now. I remember that Musashi was like that. The power of the man named Honda Tadakatsu. Once again, for the first time in 30 years, Tadakatsu's body starts heating up. Steam starts erupting for him. He can physically feel the heat on his bodies over there tweaking, right? So hot, right? Musashi, alarm bells start ringing off in his head again. His instincts are popping off. All of a sudden, boom! He gets thrown back. He's like, what the? No, swear to God. He got stronger? Again? The narrator tells us that this was without a doubt the same phenomena that happened at the Battle of Anawa. We get a full look at the bod, the brilliant hardened body. Nigga went into a whole different mode. Steam coming out the mouth, steam coming off the shoulders. And the narrator tells us, with a truly worthy opponent named Musashi Miyamoto, his body, which has been called Tokugawa's strongest weapon, right now had achieved its greatest potential output. So yeah, bro literally went God mode. He starts smiling, right? He feels that he's in a new mode. He feels the power coursing through his veins. And he's like, all right, you know what, Ieyasu? It's about time we take over this country. Everyone starts looking at each other. And yet again, the battle has become even crazier than it was before. So we get a look at Musashi. He's, looking pretty normal over there. We get a look at Tadakatsu. He's looking anything but normal over there. Got wings of steam emerging from his body. Still ready to fade. And we're told the conclusion of this battle is drawing near. Thanks to the brilliant, hardened body. Musashi and Tadakatsu exchange words once again. We can see Tadakatsu's hair is spiked up now. We can see his body is physically shining. He actually caused it to rain outside. I don't know if y'all can hear the rain in the background that's going on behind me. And Musashi's watching this. He's like, yo, what the hell? Did he just get physically bigger? Obviously, Tadakatsu's team is hyped to see this. Let's go! They over there hype as shit. Musashi's team, not so much. They're getting scared as hell. Sunglass sit over there. What the hell is that? Tadakatsu addresses Musashi once again. Let's go, boy. Hits the pose on him. I will give you a proper burial in Otaki. Now die in peace. We see a full halo behind him. Steam halo. He's glowing. He's physically glowing. Musashi sees this and he just chuckles. Interesting. This is fun. You're an old timer, you're unk, but I guess you can still kick it into high gear. He's still treating this shit like a game, right? He's still treating this shit like it's fun. And we're told at that moment, the energy between the two contenders had reached its peak. Everyone in the stadium could sense it. They could sense that the final blow was near. I think I'm gonna call it here. For this particular run.